So my new no-dig beds had a bit of a failure for our garlic that I planted probably a month ago or so. Could be for a few different reasons. One of those is we might not have put enough soil on top of the cardboard to begin with. So what's happening is I pushed some of these down, but the garlic's actually pushing up right out of the soil. On top of that, I did have a bunch of wild turkeys that kept digging, especially in this bed right here. I was just trying to kick the dirt back onto the bed. So that didn't work. So these 3 beds now don't have very consistent plantings, unfortunately, because I've had to go through and pull out all the ones that the turkeys kicked out, as well as the ones I couldn't push back down into the holes. But I thought it was interesting to show the roots that have already started to come out of these cloves in just a month, while the ground is actually starting to freeze. We've had a lot of frost, and so what I'm going to do is actually, Jay's driving the tractor by. He's doing some cleanup over on the raised bed area, but I'm going to actually transplant these into one of the raised beds, and if we can't get the compost pile to break up, it's about 40 degrees today, so I'm hoping we can. I'll just go buy a bag of soil to put over the top there, and then also for these I'm gonna try to go get a couple scoops of the compost to lay on top of these, and then we'll put the straw down. So that's the plan today, to try to fix the garlic. So you know, you live and learn. Here's the, one of my lessons, I guess. All right, so this was the cayenne pepper bed that we had 15 cayenne peppers in there, some marigolds, and some basil this season. We had used straw to help keep the weeds down and keep the moisture then, so I didn't water this bed hardly at all this year. Jay is scooping some more of our compost that we had gotten delivered from a local farm to fill it back up to the top. It will settle a bunch more over the winter, which is fine. So we're gonna actually use this bed to plant the garlic that I just pulled, or not pulled, but collected, that had already started rooting over in the field garden. We're gonna plant the garlic in here, in this new compost, and then it'll cover this whole bed in straw, and go from there. So we're making some progress. We've got a little bit left to cover here, and a little bit to cover here. About half of this bed left to add more compost to. So I went through, we pushed down the garlics we could and back into their holes a little bit, and then we're lightly covering them. The ones that wouldn't push down, like I showed earlier, we put in the bowl and then planted over on the raised bed. There's about 103 of those. I found another handful in the mulch. It's actually, they blend in well from the turkeys. And over here, where we'll put the corn again next year, you can kind of see all the tracks that we have. Bunch of turkey scrapings, rabbits, I'm guessing, probably some other creatures too. I've seen the turkeys down here multiple times. We have a lot of squirrels out here, but making good progress. Jay's getting another scoop of compost now, and we'll get this covered, and then we'll start with the straw. All right, so we just finished putting the straw down, made a bit of a mess. Unfortunately, due to temperatures, our hoses are already put away for the season, so we won't be able to water these in, but it is supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow, so hopefully the wind doesn't move too much of the straw off these beds. Usually I aim for 2 to 3 inches of straw. It will pack down once the rain comes in. So we'll see. I'm sad that the rows of garlic won't look as good as I wanted them to, with how many I ended up pulling out. About, I think, 108 to 110 cloves got actually displaced over the last month from the turkeys and the ground settling too much and the frost pushing the garlic out of the dirt. So with that, we have a bunch of them, 103 I put into one of the 8x1 Birdie's raised beds, added compost, planted them, and put straw over that one. And then also I have a few extras on top of extras I hadn't even planted yet that I need to get into the greenhouse raised bed very soon. So, lesson learned on the garlic. More dirt when we're doing no dig beds, because it does settle a lot. And then also, I think I'm going to try to get like spinners or something, like the wind pinwheels or something like that for trying to scare off the turkeys, because we have about 12 or 13 that hang out in our lower lot down there most days, and definitely have been up here in the garden. I've watched them multiple times. So we'll see how this goes.